with your mother.
She got mad and said, you not gonna make me look crazy like the rest of these bitches make me look crazy. I'm like, Kay, I'm not.
You're lying. Your mother FaceTime your father in that clothes.
Round 2, part 2 got real ugly. It got dirty and got nasty. I couldn't stop gagging. I was like, ooh, child. It took me so long to get through the episode because I had to keep running it back. Like, what is going on? And we're going to talk about it all right here, right now. Hey guys, welcome to my channel where I do weekly recaps of the Real Housewives franchise. That's right, I recap every city, every episode, every week. Today I'm here to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Reunion, Part 2. Before I do so, if you happen to like my content, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the conversation down in the comments below. Also, make sure that you hit that notification bell so that when I drop a new video, you'll be updated and alerted from YouTube. Let's get into it. So we start right where we left off at. Andy had read a question that was submitted by Drew Sidora for Shamia, asking her, like, why did you tell Kay that the girls, had pretty much didn't want to be friends with her, like tell her whatever. Basically asking Shamia why she put it in Kay's head that, to make her feel away and put her guards up with the girls. And Shamia was answering that. We found out Shamia explained that it had nothing to do with nobody on the show. It was about some friends she had off the show, meaning Candy and the Candy Coated crew. So Andy had stopped them and said, we're going to bring Cynthia out. So he brings out Miss Bailey, Cynthia Bailey. She comes on out and he catches her up on what was going on. She's like, what I missed? He told her, yeah, we found out that K. Michelle is a gay man. Pinky has a lesbian something. He pretty much was catching her up on everything. So she's like, and what else is going on? So now Shamia answers Drew's question. Andy let her know the question. So she's like, it had nothing to do with that. She was going out with her friend, and Kay had, made a comment. So Kay was basically singing how Shamia kept reminding her that her friends don't like her, and it made it seem like, feel like Shamia was making it seem like she had to choose between her and her friends, and she was throwing it in her face, and it made her feel away. And Shamia was basically singing how Kay was the one who brought it up. So Portia inserts herself, and she's like, if I can insert myself. And she was saying something that about pretty much Kay not getting a chance to know the ladies for herself because she was, had Shamia in her ear. So that's when Kay lets us know that Shamia was saying something to her about the friends or something, and they were saying when this happened. So she said they got into it last week. Something happened last week where they got into it, and allegedly Shamia says Kay was all in her face, going like this and that, trying to fight her and stuff. And Kay was like, no, I didn't. I definitely smacked the table because I was getting mad because you was trying to make me seem like I was lying, and I wasn't lying. And Shamia was like, Kelly was there. Kelly saw everything. So Kelly is like, I don't want to get involved in this. I don't want to be in the middle of this. And they're like, girl, you was there. What's up? So apparently Kay was threatening Shamia, saying she'll fuck her up and all of this. Kelly didn't say this. This is what Shamia was saying, but Kelly didn't refute it. So Angela chimes in, and she's calling Shamia a liar. Shamia's telling her to mind her business. So now they talk about the club situation with Mama Morton, how Shamia was coming to her. She was talking about when they had to meet up, and Shamia pulled out a picture saying, look at this picture, and the post. It was the post that she had in the time, and seeing what her mother was wearing, because K. Michelle made it seem like her mother had on her titties out or whatever, pushed up, and it was mad late, like it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was 11:50 something. Girl, Shamia, it was still late. So as she talking, Kay was like, girl, either way it go, my mother don't be in no club talking about some hallelujah, praise the Lord, and calling her a Jezebel. So everybody's like, wait, what? Who? Here go Portia. Calling who a Jezebel?
Hey, look at this video. This is at 11:50 something. We didn't come at 2 in the morning. She's like, okay, well,
either way, my mama don't be dancing in no hookah lounge in the middle of Atlanta with a white suit talking about hallelujah and calling her Jezebel in the middle of the club.
Calling who a Jezebel?
I really do have you saying that.
Calling who a Jezebel?
Your mama calling
So Portia, like, your mother called me a Jezebel. Shamia was like, no, she ain't call you no Jezebel. And so they going back and forth. Portia was like, stop talking about me when you with her. Stop it. Fuck. And Shamia was like, my mother ain't call you no Jezebel. And Kate was like, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Yes, she did. Kate was like, yes, she did. She even called her father, because they going back and forth. And Shamia was like, she gonna tell me, oh, she was like, Shamia said when she was clapping the table, she was like, you ain't about to let me look crazy and make these bitches think I'm crazy or something like that. Like the rest of these bitches. And Kate was like, yeah, because you was lying. And Shamia was like, no, I was not lying. And Kate was like, yes, you was. Yes, you did. Your mother called her a Jezebel. She called your father. She FaceTimed your father in the club. So they all looking like, wait, what? So Portia like, and said what? And she was like singing something, telling a story. And Shamia was like, go ahead, come up with your lie. And Kate was like, I'm not lying. So she was like, how would I know about a pipe? Something about Mama Morton called Papa Morton, and supposedly Miss Diane, Portia's mother, called and asked for Papa Morton to come fix her pipe or something like that. So I don't know what's going on. So Portia is like, your mother a goddamn liar or whatever. Child, and from this point, Mother Time came back again.
It is. Oh, her mother is a goddamn lie. Well, your mother a goddamn lie. What? Okay. You keep my motherfucking name. You keep my mama and my name out your motherfucking mouth.
All right. Okay. Can we keep the moms out of it?
Yeah.
I
would like that, Tam.
That would be
amazing.
great. Okay, great. The truth.
Child, I was like, So Andy was like, can we just leave the mothers out of it? And they both like, yes, thank you. So now, Andy asked Kay, Michelle, and Shamia, like, what are y'all seeing now? And Kate was like, I don't have a problem being around Shamia, hanging out with her, whatever, but I just don't trust her. And Shamia was like, and likewise, or whatever, because anybody who's going to come at me like that and try to fight me, because I don't agree with them. I don't trust them either. So Kelly says, let me just say this. I love both of y'all, and I just want to make sure y'all not letting the noise from the other couch, the other sofa, distract y'all. So everybody else on the other couch was like, girl, Bob, what is you talking about? Whatever. Andy was like, Kelly, let's just leave the other couch out of it. Just talk to Shamia and Kay. So now they going back and forth. So Angela going to ask Kelly, are you homeless? So Kelly was like, no, bitch, whatever. So they going back and forth. And Kelly was like, bitch, I got a business. Do you got a business? Because I think Angela was like, oh, your business, your restaurant going out of business. You lost your home. You're about to lose your business. And Kelly was like, bitch, do you have a business? You don't even have a business, bitch. Start a business. So Kelly going to shade the whole couch. She going to say, nobody on that couch has a brick and mortar.
That you do. Don't nobody got a brick and mortar on that sofa. Oh, please. Okay, I know you lying. You making millions online, girl. Bye. The family we I got several careers, and I'll get my bank account against anybody.
Congratulations, Kelly. Thank you for giving us the best shade of the episode. But that's not the only shade, honey. Okay, we got a lot of shade and a lot of reads this episode. So the girls was like, girl, Bob, please. Cynthia was like, I got the Bailey wine cellar, such and such. Portia was like, bitch, I have several businesses. Portia was like, Phaedra said I got several businesses. Portia like, girl, I make millions online. And Drew was like, girl, let's not talk about other people's careers, bitch. Just worry about your restaurant and minding your business and your bank account or whatever. So they going back and forth still, like, so yeah. So now Andy asked Cynthia, he checks in, how's things with Les Prince? She was like, fine. He asking, are any wedding bells coming soon? She was like, definitely not. So he asked if they make a new song together. So then we find out that was Cynthia's song on a mid-season trailer or whatever. So they like, for real? So while he's like, yeah, let's cue the song and play it. So they played the song and they all jamming and bopping to it. It was a cute little club beat, Cynthia. It was cute. All right.
Now what else is going on?
So now it's time for Pinky's package. So we see her highlights from the season, highlights and lowlights. So he asked about the status of the bankruptcy, and she's like, you know, when it first happened, she's in her final stages. When it first happened, she was embarrassed because, you know, it's a lot. People talk, people go on blogs, go on blog. So she was like, but you know what? At this point, like, I'm happy or whatever. If I had to do it all over, I would, because the filing for something bankruptcy is a tool or whatever. So Phaedra is like, you know, if I could pipe in, you know, the fact that you're saying it's a tool, you making it seem like it's a positive thing, and you had like black investors. So Pinky was like, and I had white investors too, and majority white. And Phaedra is like, but no matter what, like when you filed for bankruptcy, those people lost out too. So people were hurt, and by you, it's like it seemed like you bragging about it. So Pinky got on defense, and she's like, girl, I filed for bankruptcy and I used it. When white people do it, it's nothing, but when a black person doing it, they looking at it like, oh, she's a problem or whatever. And he's like, no, it's not that. So her and Phaedra start going at it now, because she's telling Phaedra, when you open up a business and learn a business, and Phaedra, she's like, let me give you a lesson in business. So Phaedra was like, you ain't got to give me no lessons, honey. I have several businesses. I've been in business for 20 years. So baby, when I tell you this Phaedra versus Pinky, it was one of the highlights of Reunion Part 2, baby.
I didn't ask.
But you inserted
and all
yourself.
you do is
It could have happened to you. It could have happened to
it couldn't happen to me
anybody.
because I'm self-funded.
Let me teach you about business.
You don't have to teach me. I'm very successful.
They are
I've been in business
okay,
for
so
20
what's some
years.
more cases then if you're very
Well,
successful?
what
How about
cases
that?
did I lose?
Okay, call Bobby Brown.
Call Bobby Brown.
Anyway,
if I was a bad attorney, baby, I was with Bobby Brown for 8 years. I think he could have replaced me.
Baby, must I say, Pinky was holding her own with Phaedra. It was like an even exchange to me, because Phaedra wasn't having it, but Pinky was on offense, if you ask me, and Phaedra was on defense. Phaedra, she thought she ate with them when she said the call Bobby Brown, and Phaedra was like, call him, honey. He been with me for 8 years. If I was such a bad lawyer, he would have replaced me. Okay, what case did I lose? So I was like, all right, I was like, yes, Pinky versus Phaedra. This Reunion Part 2, they was getting it. Okay, so now they're going at it, and Pinky is like, oh, if you learn about the restaurant business, Phaedra also hits us with the best shade of the episode. Why she was like, oh, really? Tell me, what is the profit margin for a radioactive burger?
If you know anything about the restaurant business what is the profit margin 3 years? For they don't radioactive last past 3 years. So for me...
So, thank you, Phaedra, for also giving us the best shade of Reunion Part 2. So they're going back and forth still, and everyone basically is trying to, Andy and all of the girls are also trying to explain to Pinky, like, they understand where she's coming from, but it did come across kind of insensitive, like, that she don't care about the people that was hurt by her filing for bankruptcy, and she's trying to say that bankruptcy, she's putting it as this positive thing, like, you know, like, pretty much, like, she did it in, like, malice or whatever, like, it's using it as a crutch. So she's like, listen, no, that's not it. I filed for bankruptcy. It is what it is. So Cynthia's trying to tell her, you know, I can relate to you because I've been in business with my ex or whatever. And, you know, when you come on here, you know, people are going to pick you apart and have something to say. And Pinky is like, I don't care. I don't care about people's opinions, to be honest with you. I don't care what nobody got to think. Cynthia's like, you know what? I'm going to give you that. You got that. So Andy asked her about some of the things in the bankruptcy, her house being surrendered. She said she has several properties in the portfolio, and a couple of them were upside down, so she just let them go. She wasn't doing nothing with them anyway, and then she listed her monthly income as $6,000, and she basically explained that was her expenses for like child care and things around the house and stuff like that. That's her expenses. So then we talk about Meatgate and how she supposedly eat meat. And we realized after watching the season that Kelly was the one that came up with this rumor. And Kelly apologizes to her like, I'm so sorry because I used to see you in this steakhouse and I figured you was eating steak. I never saw you. Kelly never saw her physically eating steak, but because she was in a steakhouse, she thought she was eating steak and didn't know that they had a personalized menu for Pinky. So yeah, she apologized. And then Shamia also apologizes to Phaedra for misconstruing what she said and making it seem like Phaedra's the one that said she eat meat when she said she used to just sell it at her restaurant when she had a Jamaican restaurant. So Phaedra was like, but you know what's funny? Pinky never apologized. And Pinky was like, and I'm not. And Phaedra was like, why? And Pinky was like, what I didn't tell nobody was Phaedra went to the higher ups on me. And Phaedra was like, tell them why. So they didn't say exactly this, but because Pinky ain't want to say it on TV, but apparently Phaedra told the higher up she didn't feel safe or Pinky said she didn't feel safe. Somebody didn't feel safe, and Pinky felt the need that she had to protect herself with a pow pow. So yeah, that was some type of complaint made. Phaedra says if she would have really went to the higher up, she would not be there. And Andy said, yeah, if she would have came to you, she would have made a dig. If it was a big deal about it, she would have pressed us. She would have called me or somebody in New York. So then he asked them, like, where y'all stand now? And they say, Pinky said, I'm good with her. I'd have been to her house. She gave me a bath, the sound bath and all that. She made a good veggie menu for me. Like, we good. I don't hold grudges. And Phaedra was like, yeah, I never had a problem with Pinky. I just didn't understand why was the negative energy. So Pinky was like, I don't hold grudges. I can move on. And Angela is like, that's true. I can attest to that, because her and Angela made up after they had one of the most severe reads of the season. So now we get a question from Ashley from Cincinnati. And Ashley wants to know why Derek wasn't the first to know about your filing for bankruptcy, and why didn't you take him up on his offer to pay the $5 million? So she explains that the creditors from her old company was coming after her personally, and she didn't want to involve him in that, especially when the companies wasn't even in business no more. Kevin from Bed-Stuy says, I'm excited for your project with Notori. Is there a release date for Edgewood? She said she announces it was picked up by a big network, but the ink isn't even dry yet, so she can't talk more on that. Justine from Toronto has a question for Drew. Drew, if you only planned on supporting Pinky, why even leave your house to attend the casting call? Pretty much, if you only planned on supporting her. And Drew said she did it because she told her she would show up and show some support. Pinky says, why did you call my casting call a cattle call? And Drew was like, it wasn't no shade. Andy said, that's how people talk, whatever. So Pinky took it as she was trying to do it, shade it like it was some type of indie project or something. So we find out Pinky never did email her or get in contact with her manager or her team. Drew explains that she's in a union, you know what I'm saying? And there's a process, and Pinky didn't respect that process. She was like, I've done plenty of stage plays. I've done Broadway, things like that. So here go Kelly on the side, like in Tubi movies. So Pinky is like, oh, you said Tubi movies? So Drew set the record straight. She was like, and I've also done box hit smashes with John Travolta, White Chicks. I like, baby, I came up on Disney. Set the record straight, Drew. Let these bitches know, stop disrespecting your resume.
Follow the protocol because I am a part of a union. You didn't do it, so I'm not going to come and audition. I do independent projects all of the time. I have done stage plays, that were independent. I have done movies independent. I've also done box office movies with John Travolta, White Chicks. I came up on the Disney Channel. So there is nothing you can tell me
one thing you gotta know
that I
about
should or
me
shouldn't.
Child, I was glad Drew set the record straight because I got tired of them really trying to downplay her and belittle her. Like, stop it, okay? So Andy asked Pinky about her relationship that she confessed to when they was in Scotland with the woman, how that went. And she said, one thing about it, when you lesbian relationships, they come attached quick. Like, they talk about how in lesbians, they be ready to have a U-Haul, move in right away with all their stuff. Then he makes a joke about Portia be quick to move in or whatever. She quick to get married. And Portia is making a joke saying she's that U-Haul lesbian. So now it's time to go on break. So they go on break, and when they on break, Drew and Portia are talking. They're talking about Kelly and stuff, and how Kelly is talking crazy and all the stuff. And now she want to make sure that people don't think she lying about Kelly sleeping with a married man. So she paid a professional to do a lie detector test, and she called for the results. So he has the results. They ready. So she basically calls to get the results right there in front of Drew so Drew could be her witness, which wouldn't be a reliable witness because that's your friend girl. And y'all in business together. So no, not a reliable witness for me. Okay, we need somebody neutral. So now we come back from break and they do a package on married men because married men was a talk of discussion this season. People messing around with married men. So that's when we get into the George and Ashley of it all and how Angela made that lie up and the whole wordplay Angela was trying to say. Shamia said that she said that and that Ashley said it when it was Angela that said it. George and Ashley both denied it, so there was nothing to it. So while we still talking about it, Angela still stands by what she said. She got it from a reliable source. And Andy asked Drew, why would she say she was vindicated? And Drew was like, because that's exactly what Angela said, and he confirmed it. So she was vindicated. So now Angela and Kelly start going at it. They're going back and forth. I don't know how they got, because Kelly said, I remember before that happened, when they was talking about the whole bankruptcy thing, I remember when Kelly brought up Angela, like Angela was going to file for bankruptcy last year. Angela was like, but I didn't. That's when we was on the topic of Pinky and the bankruptcy. Angela was like, but I didn't, and I'm going to tell you why I didn't. Because she didn't even get a chance to say why she didn't, because they was going back and forth. And she said, when I came on the show last season, I brought all my shortcomings to the table. I brought all my issues. I put all my dirt out there. Like, but what I didn't do, the difference is, I didn't come in saying, bitch, I could buy your foreclosed properties, telling people that. Or whatever. So her and Pinky kind of went back and forth for a little bit. And Angela was just trying to tell her, like, you know, chill out, like, pretty much. So, but they don't have an issue with each other. They're cool still. So now, after the break, so now Angela and Kelly was still kind of had tension over that because when Kelly brought Angela up, Angela got mad at Kelly. I don't know why. Kelly was just like saying, she wasn't saying it to throw a shot. She was just saying it like, you know, it could happen to anybody because Pinky was like, when Pinky and Phaedra was saying going back and forth, Pinky was like, it could happen to anybody. It could happen to you. And Phaedra was like, oh, no, honey, it won't happen to me, baby, because I'm bad. So, yeah, so Angela and Kelly were going back and forth over the whole sleeping with the married man. Because, yeah, when she said the thing about George and Ashley, and so Kelly was basically calling her a liar. They're going back and forth. Angela tells her, if you had a husband, you would know. Kelly was like, bitch, I had a husband for 11 years, and I ain't have to get pregnant to get one, ho. And this is where Kelly got activated at, right here.
When you get a husband, you'll understand. I had a husband for 11 years and didn't even get pregnant to have one. Play with somebody else, not me, ho. My husband put you in rooms, bitch. Your husband put you in courtrooms. We are not the same.
So Angela like, bitch, my husband put me in rooms. Your husband put you in courtrooms. Kelly was like, bitch, my husband, remember he married me. Baby, this was the best read of Reunion Part 2.
My husband, remember, married me. I don't give a damn about your husband.
I was like, oh, Kelly, oh, you hit her with a low blow. She hit her with a one-hitter, okay, a haymaker. Congratulations, Kelly, for giving us the best read of Reunion Part 2. All right, yes, Kelly got the best of this exchange. She ate Angela up on this one, Angela. She sat you back down, Angela, okay? So Kelly is like, I don't give a fuck about your husband, girl. So Angela was like, oh, not surround sound Kelly, talking about last season when Angela and Britt was going at it at Cynthia's Juneteenth party, and Kelly was on the side talking about something, but what about that baby now? So they showed the flashback to that. So Angela was like, Kelly was like, didn't you say you ain't give a fuck if your husband was fucking a lady on an ice cream truck? You did say that, Angela. You said you don't care what nobody say. If you messing with the cake lady down the block, I don't care. But you seem to still been caring all season. So, Kelly, she got you good with that one, Angela, all right? She did, okay? So now, Angela says her and Shamia were actually cool. They was hanging out with each other kids and stuff, going on double dates up until Pinky's event this season when Shamia was like, oh, Angela is pretty much shady. She's like a shit starter pretty much, saying that Angela caused the fallout between her and Portia still. So that's why Angela says that's why she took that energy into Nashville leading up, because it came from that. So now Pinky's question coming in. We got a question from Pinky Call. Angela, have you really forgiven Portia for what she said about effing your husband? All season you spoke negatively about her in your confessionals, but you had 5 outings with her. And Angela was like, I'm going to talk my shit in the confessionals. That's to believe. But she said... So now Andy reached Shamia's question. Shamia Morton Umagi question. Angela, are you trying to get Shamia kicked out of the Hawks Stadium as y'all got kicked out of the Knicks Stadium? So Angela's like, girl, how could I get her kicked out of a stadium? I can't get her kicked out of a stadium. Angela is saying, you know, if it's not true, if the rumors ain't true, then she don't have no worry about no investigation or nothing like that. So they like, so you admitting it's not true? And she was like, listen, my source is reliable or whatever. So Shamia is like telling her, so say it. So Angela's like, girl, you gotta cease and desist. So Shamia said the cease and desist is telling her to say who her names is or shut up. Put up or shut up, pretty much. So Angela is like, girl, you don't know which one you want to be, victim or bully. So Shamia was like, you got more smoke for me than you have for the person that says she wants, that's the person that was trying to F your husband. So Angela was like, wait, Portia was trying to fuck my husband? And Portia was like, bitch, now since you want to put me back in it again, like, let me tell you what, you keep saying what I said. At least I apologize. The difference is I apologize for what I said and we moved on. But you said shit too. You was the one who was saying, oh, Charles got this and that. I think Kelly said he got a baby on the side, and Shamia was saying he be in the streets and this and that, saying stuff about him too. So Shamia was like, you was saying stuff too. Portia was like, I was saying I don't know that man because I don't know him. Y'all was saying stuff too, and you never apologized. So now Andy is saying, Shamia, do you think now you want to take the time out to like apologize, even if it is again? So Shamia does apologize. She says, I'm sorry, I apologize. So then he asks Angela if she want to apologize for making up that fake rumor about her. Angela, she starts to apologize, but she's still saying she believes her source and her reliable source and stop talking about my husband. So she really didn't apologize. Angela was kind of getting on my nerves this part. I ain't gonna front. I love me some Angela, but she got on my nerves most of this reunion, all right? She kept jumping in and just doing too much, all right? I kept saying to myself, Angela, shut up, for real. So now Keisha from Brooklyn has a question. Kelly and Portia, what exactly are a hot chili cheese vagina and a platinum puss? So Portia's like, I got what? And Kelly is like, girl, bye. So Portia was like, yeah, if she wanted this, she was all up on it. This platinum puss. And Kelly was like, girl, please, you need to take that and put it in some hot water and vinegar. So that's where Portia's talking about the whole married man thing and saying, since you want to say that, I decided I'm going to get a lie detector. So she announces the results of her lie detector test. Anyway, moving right along because it did nothing. Andy asked Phaedra, would that hold up in court? Phaedra was like, no, it wouldn't. And Kelly was like, this is a joke. It's a joke. So now Kelly Potter has a question, and the question is for Phaedra. Phaedra, why do you feel the need to protect a cheating man's infidelity? Does that really and truly protect a family or your lies? So Phaedra is like, first of all, I can't say his name because he's my client or whatever, you know. And, you know, when I heard it or whatever. So that Kelly is saying her, but what I don't understand is you saying this and you know that, but you never called me and asked me. It's like supposed to be like a big sister to me. Why you couldn't call me and ask me? You just ran with that. And Phaedra is like, because I spoke to him. And Kelly was like, it don't matter. You ain't speak to me. You just co-signed what she was saying. You know what I'm saying? You co-signing, mind you co-signing the same person that got you fired last time. I was like, Kelly, clocked it. She clocked in this episode.
This be true. You never asked me.
Because I have a problem with that.
It doesn't matter if you spoke to anybody.
But this is the thing. I didn't bring it up. I know exactly
who the person is. No, you didn't bring it up, but you co-signed. It didn't stand until you co-signed. You co-signed for the same person that got you fired on the show the last time.
Good
It's
job,
not fair.
Stan.
Girl, shut
I
up.
remember episode.
Kelly is eating. Let her cook, y'all. Let her cook. Honey, I was like, clock it, sis. Here go Portia like, oh, you've been watching the show, fan. Watching every episode. Girl, who don't know that? Who don't know that? You ain't have to watch the show to know that. So then we find out Kelly and Portia ended up fucking the same man. They keep bleeping out the name, and Andy's trying to figure out who they saying, and it comes to find out it's the same guy that Claudia Jordan had said that they was fucking the same guy apparently on her podcast or whatever. She said the same thing, and it's true. So she's saying him. So Portia was like, oh, you saying his name? Because Portia wasn't going to say the name. And she was like, you talking about such and such? And Portia was like, oh, you saying the name? You spelling your whole T? So Portia was like, so say the married man name then. Say the married man. Go ahead. Keep talking. Keep going. So they're going back and forth. But Portia was like, no, Andy, we need to keep talking because she's getting there. She's getting there. Say his name. Go ahead. She's getting close. So Shamia jumps in and says something. And Portia was like, Shamia, hush. Mind your business before I say who you was with Labor Day weekend. Here goes Shamia was like, I wasn't saying that. I was talking to her. Portia was like, mind your business, Shamia, when I'm talking to Kelly. So they're going back and forth. So then Andy asked them, like, you know, Portia, where do you and Shamia go from here? Portia was like, to hell. And they're like, oh, child. And that's how part 2 ended, honey. But baby, this was a mess. I was here for it. This reunion is cooking, honey. And I am here for it. All right, guys, let me know what you thought of reunion. I'm going to give it a grade after part 3. I'm going to give the reunion an overall grade from 1 to 10. But let me know what you guys thought about part 2 down in the comments below. If you like this content, hit the like and subscribe buttons. And also, make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get an update when I drop new videos, like the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip that I'm going to be dropping a little later. If you haven't checked out my recap of Real Housewives of Orange County, it's up. Go and check that out. Also, if you're into Big Brother, I'm recapping this season as well. All right, guys. In the meantime, today is Wednesday, August 19th. Happy Hump Day to all. And I will talk to you all tomorrow if you watch Big Brother. If not, I'll talk to you all later or tomorrow for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. Bye.